Nick Theriot in the house. So you are the founder of Theriot Solutions, and you help, e-commerce brands scale to 7 to 8 figures. And that's amazing. I think a lot of people are still trying to figure out, okay, first go to 4 figures, 5 figures. They always say, look, making $100 a day or a week is hard. Making $1,000 is the next hardest thing. Whenever you go up to like another multiple, it becomes that much harder, right? Now, before we talk about how to start and scale an e-commerce brand, more specifically through Facebook ads, kind of give us like your origin story of how you got into marketing in the e-commerce realm.
Yeah, Andres. Well, look, first off, just thank you for having me on, man. I'm looking forward to today. Again, my name is Nick Theriot. I've scaled multiple brands now to 6 and 7 figures using Facebook ads with like Shopify and stuff. I've been on the marketing game now for about 4 years now. Within just the last year, we've managed over $1 million in ad spend, generated over $4 million back in revenue for clients we've worked with. Just one particular client, we did $888,000 in 21 days. So just have some absolutely crazy stuff we've been doing, kind of the background of everything. But I've been in this internet marketing game now for about 4 years. First 3 years, I grew and sold a local detailing business that I started, me personally. Started it with a business partner and needed a way to grow it. And I was looking at the cost of like flyers and stuff. I was looking at the cost of different typical marketing methods for a local business, going to events and everything. It was like $300, $400, $500 just to go do these little things. I'm like, okay, there's gotta be a way to reach people better. And kind of like a person, actually my old boss told me, hey man, I love Facebook ads. You should check out Facebook ads. So I looked at Facebook ads. I was like, yeah, look, you boost a post, you pay $5 and you reach X amount of people. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's try that out. So just simply starting off, and this was back in 2014. So this is when you could literally pay like $1 to reach 1,000 people on Facebook, and literally just paying $5 a day, boosting posts, and just getting an influx of people calling me about my business. Hey, can you detail my car? Stuff like that. And literally we were getting a 10x ROAS. If you compared it, we're spending like $500 a month and making about $5,000 to $10,000 a month back with the detailing business, literally just from Facebook ads. So it really propelled us. And I think it was really key for our growth at that time, because while there's so many people starting businesses in that industry, none of them knew the technology. So we had the technological advantage, running lead gen offers and stuff. And, once we got more into it, I started looking at lead gen offers and stuff, Klaviyo, email marketing and everything. And just was able to really put all my passion into growing this business using these technologies and stuff like that. That really gave us a significant edge compared to everything else. And the fun fact is this whole business was started as an accident. It was not even intended to be a business or anything like that. I originally was just needed some extra capital to grow my trading account, because I have kind of like a stock trader background, Forex background, never actually made it live to the markets, just paper trading. And I was building up, capital to go live in the markets and stuff. And I needed a way to fund it, and I was working like a landscaping job for like $10 an hour cash. Cool. But I needed a way to grow it quicker. And so I didn't really know how I was going to do it. And I also loved cars, and I bought a bunch of detailing supplies online to detail my truck. Posted a picture on my Instagram, because I post a lot of pictures like my truck on Instagram and stuff like that. And then I had a buddy of mine reach out to me. Hey man, I'll pay you, how much would you charge to detail my vehicle? I was like, I don't know. He's like, I'll pay you $100. I said, okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds good. So literally made $100 in 2-3 hours of doing that. I was like, holy shit, that's like, $30, $35 an hour compared to my other job making $10 an hour. So I'm like, okay, if I could just do a few of these a week, I'm gonna work significantly less, make more money, and I can fund my trading account faster. So, and that's kind of how the business started, essentially the early days of it, which then just one thing led to the other. So fast forward 3 years later, really just loved the marketing aspect of it and wanted to help other businesses like this, because I knew I wasn't the only one that struggled with it. So that's how I started my agency. Reached out to a bunch of local businesses, started working with some local businesses, but I didn't like the cap you have of a local business. You scale up to a certain point, but there's no way in hell like some of these local businesses could spend $10,000 a day in ad spend or something like that. And I didn't like the lead gen aspect, because with the e-commerce side, it's something so sweet about launching a campaign. Let's just say you're spending $20 a day just to kind of get a campaign off the ground, your first creative test, and you get that first 2 or 3 purchases on it, see that nice clean 3-4 extra ROAS on that campaign. And we've managed budgets anywhere from $22,000 a day all the way down to $200 a day. And it's something is still so sweet, even those first few sales at a small brand. It's such a satisfying feeling. It's a high every time. So that's kind of led into the e-commerce side, and started the e-commerce side. And a year and a half later now, haven't looked back. Absolutely love what I do. Started up a YouTube channel on the route, just kind of document everything I learned. Because there's a big thing with the e-commerce side is, typically businesses doing like $0 to $20,000 a month. They're not really good fits work with this just yet. So I wanted a way to help those businesses at least get somewhat started without having to actually hop on a call with every single one to consult with them. So to leverage my time. And it's been a really great kind of referral system for our agency. So made a lot of really awesome connections, met a lot of great people in the process. And now we're here. Still growing the agency side in the e-commerce space, growing the YouTube channel, just documenting everything, and just, loving everything, how it's going so far.
Yeah, I think you're right about, local businesses, they do have a cap, whereas for e-commerce businesses, there's no limit. The more products that you can sell, the better, and you just scale up from there. Now, I want to start off with the Facebook ads. There's so much to it. There's the video creative, there's copy, there's targeting, there's all that good stuff. Now, do you focus on everything, including the video creatives, or what? Just to provide context.
Yeah. So, when I first got into the e-commerce space and as the agency, I was the central, I was the only person. I really wouldn't even say it's an agency. It was more just me doing a freelance type job. So I was doing everything, the creative, the copywriting, ads and everything like that. And I've been really just in the last 6 months, been really stressing hard about the delegation of these certain things, because once you start adding your first client, cool, you can do it. Then you add another client to it. And it's like, okay, still got it. No big deal, but just a little bit more now you have to learn of managing. And then you add that third one. Then it's like, okay, really got to take this seriously now, because, 1-2 days go by without updating copy, and then you're always behind. And I've kind of had that first kind of fail essentially with my agency when I scaled up too quickly, doing it all myself. And, lost a few clients in the process because I couldn't properly spread myself across all clients. So now I've scaled back up with a media buyer on the team. We have a copywriter on the team, and we have someone that's in charge of creative for the team. So, and I'm more of the nucleus, the person right in the middle that is more kind of steers the ship essentially. Yeah. So here's the key psychological concepts we want to apply at this stage of the funnel. Here's a few examples of how we can do it. And then my team takes action on those key things. So more of the central person, I can leverage these different people to expand my time. So hey, I need these 5 concepts, ad copy concepts written. That might take me all week, but now that I have a copywriter, I can simply just take 5 minutes, send it off to her, then another 10-15 minutes reviewing with her at the end of the week, and then we can actually execute those into the funnel.
Now, what makes... in one of your videos, I think a lot of people, they understand what a CBO is. Maybe they don't. Can you kind of explain... I know you kind of explained it in your video, but what's the difference between a CBO and an ABO, right? I know there's different campaigns at Facebook, and why would you choose one over the other?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. So I think ABO or CBO has been something that's just at one point of your life when you're running a Facebook ad account, you're going to run into this question. And, I went down a path for a few months trying to figure out which one was the best way to do it, et cetera. Did a bunch of testing and stuff. And I've kind of finally fine-tuned our strategy with ABO and CBO and actually use them together. So when I first found out about it, I felt like I had to be all CBO or all ABO. And I've kind of pulled back, expanded my mindset, and looked at it as how can we use them together? Because they both complement each other very well and very effectively. So an ABO campaign is called ad set budget optimization. So this is where you're optimizing your budget at the ad set level. And ad sets you're targeting. So women, 18 plus, overweight, USA. So when you have 5 different ad sets targeting different audiences, then what a CBO is campaign budget optimization. So one layer higher. So at the campaign level, it's going to distribute that $100 a day for the budget in between those ad sets, how Facebook thinks. So one ad set might get all the spend, one ad set might get barely any, and then one might get like a median. Whereas ABO, you're forcing the algorithm to spend equal amounts across those ad sets. So they have their disadvantages and advantages. So when you're running a CBO in that strategy, if results are really good for one ad set, let's just say you're targeting engaged shoppers that day, it's working really well, then you can just rely on the system to push budget that way. Now, the next day, let's say people in a relationship's working the best, then you can just rely on the CBO to put more budget on that one. Now, if an ABO, if one of those were performing well, budget would not have been shifted into those, and they were all just been consistently spending the same. So there is higher ROAS capabilities or possibilities with a CBO because it allows the system to better manage spend than an ABO. Now, why still we use an ABO is because when we're testing these key ad sets, so let's say you have a CBO with 2 ad sets, they both work really well. It's an engaged shoppers and people in a relationship. But now we want to test, gift giving interests. And we want to put an ad set inside of there. Well, 9 times out of 10, Facebook won't spin on that ad set initially. It's going to give it a few days because it's still going to be spending on those main 2 that's been performing. And that's not what we want. We want to test whether that works or not. So we use an ABO campaign. We'll literally call it audience testing or ad testing. And we will force spin into these single interest or single lookalike ad sets so we can validate whether they work or not. And this is how we use ABO campaigns. So we use our CBO for our main scaling campaigns where we're putting our best performing ad sets and our best performing ads inside of that CBO campaign. And we're just letting Facebook, hey, here's everything that's working for us right now. Just spend on it. And we've been able to get some really good results with that. Now, before we like to throw stuff in there, we like to spin at the ABO level, the ad set budget optimization level, for either ad testing or audience testing. So if we're doing audience testing, we're going to create an ad set, look like purchase 30-day LLA 1%, and we're going to put our best performing creatives in that ad set. So that way we know it's not the creative because those creatives have worked. It's purely just the audience itself. Now, our ad testing campaign, we're going to use our best performing ad sets, best performing targeting that we know works, and we're going to test new creatives or new ads. So whether it's copy, creative, or headline. And we know the audiences work really well. So if that creative performs poorly, or that ad performs poorly, then it's not the targeting because we know the targeting works. So we'll spin on those 2 campaigns for ABO, and then we'll copy them all over into the CBO. And that's kind of like our unique strategy for how we target these specific audiences with either ABO or CBO.
Now, I always feel that people who are doing e-commerce, they start off as solopreneurs, and over time, as they start to scale, then they start hiring people to run their Instagram pages, to run their advertisements, run their email campaigns and whatnot, right? But in the very beginning, since you're starting out, they're doing everything themselves. Like you mentioned, you were the nucleus. Once you got into more work, you have to hire people to delegate other tasks. Same thing with e-commerce entrepreneurs. Now, if people are working on the Facebook ads themselves, do you have some sort of framework or I guess some sort of structure from A to Z? I know it'd be like a mouthful to say this in, 5-10 minutes, but like this is a good framework, a rule of thumb to do Facebook ads. I know this changes week in, week out. There's always a new marketing trend, always a new update in the algorithm. So is there like a structure that you see that you recommend to any e-commerce entrepreneur to structure their Facebook ads?
Are you talking more about like in terms of like team or more of just like ad account structure, or what type of structure are you more looking for?
The ad account structure, including like, how do you get the copy? Should you go ham on the video creative? Should you focus more on the creative itself than the copy and the target audience? Because some people are like, you know what, let Facebook do its thing. I'm not going to try to create my own custom avatar and then, try to find that out. Let Facebook do its own thing. That's what people say, and it works.
Yeah. And I like to call those like the Chads of Facebook advertising. And, I think creative copy and offer is the single most important thing you can leverage inside of an ad account. We like to preach the 80-20 rule, and 80% of our results for Facebook ads comes from 20% of our actions. Or 80% of our results comes from core, like creative copy offer. The other 20% of our results come from like spending time in that account and spending time like managing ads. Like we spend 20% of our time, 10-hour day, 2 hours in that account. The other 8 hours we're looking at creative copy offers. And more of like structure and stuff. Like I said, we keep it super, super simple. So we have these, 3 campaigns: creative, audience, CBO campaign. And then we'll have like 2 retargeting campaigns, middle of funnel and bottom of funnel campaign. And also to a past purchase campaign. So, we have about those, middle funnel, bottom funnel, past purchase, that's 3. So 6 campaigns we do everything in. And we won't touch those campaigns for like months at a time in terms of like, create new campaigns, stuff like that. We literally just work within those 6 campaigns for months at a time. There's no real need to, make it overcomplicated essentially. So now pulling a step back, how do we create copy, offer creatives and stuff? First off, you need to understand who's your demographic. Like literally simple. Overweight women, USA. Okay, cool. Now, what is the benefits of my products for those people? Well, it's a new app, teaches them how to work out from home. They don't have to go to the gym. They get also fitness advice, nutrition tips, everything like that. It's $50 a year. Great. Awesome. Now, what are the core desires does it leverage? So it's called the Life Force 8. Highly recommend everyone go checking this out. There's 8 core desires people have with themselves. It's a natural human instinct. So like, for example, 1, natural desire for care of a loved one, natural desire to save money, natural desire to make money. So there's a lot of different core desires. So we like to try to answer a question, who's our demographic? What are we selling? So weight loss app for women, overweight. What are we actually selling? So women likely to lose weight, there could be a variety of reasons. It could be for better enjoyment of life because when they go upstairs, they feel exhausted. Maybe they're trying to date and they're trying to find, a new lover and they want to look good. They want to feel good and everything like that. So that really just understanding those key principles right there, we can better kind of like, start at the higher level. And then here's how we're going to display these in our creatives. So then we start looking at copy. So we like to look at the 5 stages of market awareness by Eugene Starks. Have you ever heard of that?
The 5 stages of marketing awareness?
Yes. So this is something right here I highly recommend. If there's one thing you take from this podcast, to dive into this. The 5 stages of marketing awareness by Eugene Starks. And this is basically, he's the guy that wrote Breakthrough Advertising. He's one of the greatest direct response copywriters on the planet, that has been on the planet. And he talks about the 5 stages of market awareness. So the first stage is people who are completely unaware. These are women overweight, but they don't know they have a problem. They're perfectly okay with where they're at right now. Then stage number 2 are the problem aware people. These are people that are overweight and they know it's a problem, but they're not actively looking for a solution. They know it's a problem. These are people that are, in your friend groups that are always talking about these problems they have, but they're not doing anything to solve it. They're not researching, they're not doing anything, just have a problem. They don't know if there's even a solution for their problem. Then you have the people that are problem aware or solution aware. These are people that they know they're overweight, they know they have a problem, and they know their solution is more a weight loss diet. So now all of a sudden, those 3 core groups of people right there, those are people that you're going to target your top of funnel audiences. Your problem aware and your solution aware people. These are more the common people people go after with their Facebook ads and stuff. You'll commonly see this as, hey, are you overweight? Hey, like more of like calling out a straight problem first. And then same thing too with the weight loss diets, more of a problem with the weight loss diets. There's so many to choose from, but you're not sure which one to choose from. Here's X, Y, and Z. You need to do a keto diet, and why X, Y, and Z is so much better than others. So then that's all your top of funnel audiences. Now, number 4 is the people that are product aware. This is your middle of funnel audience, your first middle of funnel audience. And product aware people are aware of a solution to their problem. They are aware of your brand. They are aware of what you sell, but they're not sold on it yet. And these people, they don't need a discount. They don't need a flash sale. What they need is testimonials, social proof, unboxing videos, case studies, proven your product is the perfect solution to their problem. So that's your middle funnel ads. You can also do like 3 key benefits. You can do us versus them type ad for like competitor analysis, competitive, stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool things you can do right there in middle funnel. And I think that's something that's, really cleared things up for us, because we were just kind of throwing ads all over the place when it comes to like middle funnel and bottom of funnel, especially middle funnel. Middle funnel is a very tricky one to get, because like bottom of funnel, like 9 times out of 10 people like to just pinpoint those key things and toss it into their bottom funnel as well. But bottom of funnel, super easy. These people that been to your website, they've added a product to their cart, they're just waiting for that tripwire offer. Hey, free gift with your free t-shirt with, any purchase of this weight loss app this week, and free offer, free 10% off, free shipping this week only. So more offers in terms of just like things to get people off, that's on the edge. But understanding these concepts right here can better position you in terms of, okay, I need to put this content at top of funnel. I need to put this content right here at middle of funnel, and this content right here at bottom of funnel. And that right there is pretty much how I structure our overall marketing campaigns right there. So with that right there, I'll develop content buckets. So, okay, let's start off with the first one, bottom of funnel. All right, what's some offers we can run? Write down a few. Okay, cool. Creative team, go create me a few images like this. Copywriting team, give me some copy around this offer. There we go. Middle of funnel. All right, testimonials. Let's see if we can get a few people to film, like customers to film some testimonials. Let's see if we can show off a few usages of the app. Is there any objections in this? What's a common question in the support inbox? Common comment. Can we answer those in ads? Creative team, go create these creatives or get them from clients. Copy team, go put this together in terms of copy. And then obviously your last one, your 3 different cold audiences. We'll create a few ads, a few creatives in that same structure right there. We'll also do kind of a competitive analysis between our brand and other brands. So we kind of see what everyone's choosing for like content and stuff and how we can like position it. So kind of get like some early ideas. And yeah, that's literally how we structure everything. And then we simply just use these platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all these different advertising platforms as resources to distribute this content and deliver the right message to the right audience at the right time.
Yeah. Wait, so for the middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel, I'm assuming that you find those people within your retargeting sort of campaign, right? To know what stage they're in, right?
Yes. So your cold audiences, this should be like your lookalikes and your interests. And we even have a lot of broad audiences where it's just completely open, just demo targeting. Then your middle of funnel, this is people who liked an ad, commented on an ad, watched 50% or more of a video, or giving me 3 seconds or more of a video, just kind of depending on how long videos you're using. And then this also could be a person that visits your website, just has an added to cart or viewed content, essentially. So those are more just people that are maybe doing a little bit of window shopping, doing a little bit of just kind of brand awareness stage. People are just kind of getting to know all these different brands and stuff like that in the market. Then your bottom of funnel is purely view content and add to cart.
So I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that maybe new e-commerce entrepreneurs make, where like you're so structured between top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. You're creating different content, different incentives for each of those segments. Do you think that a lot of entrepreneurs, they just have one ad hoping that there's a channel from top of the funnel to bottom of the funnel to make an impulse purchase right away and just rely on that to scale their brands?
Yeah. I think a lot of brands rely purely on top of funnel only. And I'm actually more, since this iOS 14.5 has happened, to kind of damage some of our retargeting audiences and our custom audiences. So I'm having to look at it from a different perspective. So one, I'm trying to get more purchases at top of funnel. So I'm trying to like double down on our creative and try to make the best creative that'll literally take someone from not aware to aware in one ad. And that's totally possible. I've been through a sales cycle like that. And then what I'm also doing is like, okay, so top of funnel ads, we're driving people to the website. Okay, we're collecting emails. Okay, now we can retarget those emails with some of these middle funnel ads. And now even Klaviyo, you can retarget people based off products they viewed on a website. So you can literally do some more of your heavier bottom of funnel ads right there. So we're also looking at different platforms of how we can do middle funnel and bottom funnel as well. But I think a very, very common mistake is when people are starting out with Facebook ads, they just do a few top of funnel audiences and they might copy their best performing ad and retarget everyone. So they literally just have 2 ads. They're not changing up the messaging. They're not changing up the creative and stuff like that. And people are getting burnt out very quickly of seeing the same ad over and over. And they're not really communicating to their brand effectively.
So you're definitely focusing on creating more creatives for top of the funnel so people can make more impulse purchases. And you think it's very important as you really start to scale, maybe going from 5 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures, to really just divide everything between like the funnels, not just think about one creative to do it all, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, in terms of the actual creative, do you solely focus on video, or do you have some aspect of just static images, carousels, or do you think video is the way to go?
So I'm strongly for video. For a few of our accounts, we've cracked it by literally just using video. I think images work really well too, more for like clothing brands and stuff like that, brands that are highly visual and just need a quick look over. I'm not really all for one, honestly. I test both on every account. I think photos are very good for the people that we work with that just are bad at getting video. With some brands we're working with, they don't have the skill set to get video. And now what we're doing is we're starting to leverage like content creators to like ship their products to and do content for us with that. But video does do way better on social media specifically. And I think for video specifically it's the first 3 seconds is key. You have to focus on those first 3 seconds. You have to have a strong pain point you're calling out within that first 3 seconds. That's going to keep people, attention. And then also too, depending on where they're at the funnel, it might not be a pain point, it might be more of brand recognition or, different other selling factors for different parts of the funnel.
Mm-hmm. Well, so for middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel, you always have to implement, email marketing tools like Klaviyo or any other one that you want to implement. You think that's almost an incentive at this point, or not incentive, but a must?
Yes.
Okay, because that's another way of retargeting people. And of course, once you have an email list, you can just message them for free whenever you want, unless you're doing like SMS marketing, which does cost. Right?
Yeah. And I know like specifically like SMS, we had a brand, we just started collecting SMS more. We're pretty late to the SMS. Honestly, not gonna lie. We didn't start till like about a month ago, which I wish I would have started sooner. Yeah. So take that away now. Anyone watching this, I wish I would have started sooner on this podcast. So for all y'all who haven't started at all, now's the time. But SMS is really powerful because it's just so instantaneous. Just blast out a message and then you get traffic to your website and purchases and stuff. But I know for like one particular brand, we came off of a really good Father's Day. Show off all of our Father's Day ads on Monday because Father's Day was over. And we literally had like $75 in spend for a day, coming off like $4,000 or $5,000 in sales per day, all the way down to like $75 a day in spend. And what we did was to make up for that day, we spent $75 and made back $2,000 that day. What I did was I did a flash sale really quick on the store with SMS and email, and literally just use SMS and email to do $2,000 in like 3 hours. Jeez. And completely free to send that out. We spent $75 a day on ads. So it's really powerful to have your email list and have your SMS list. SMS is more shorter, more just kind of quick little statements. So Prime flash sale ends tonight at 11 o'clock. Make sure you get 50% off site wide. Use code Prime. Like just quick little statements right there. And you have to understand it's a little bit more like I say for email, we can email people daily, but SMS, we try to only do it once or twice a week because you can kind of burn people out very quickly. And we simply do this. We have a little pop-up on our website that allows people to enter in their email, SMS, sends them off a little discount for their first purchase. And we have a lot of people taking up that offer right now.
Yeah, I think email marketing, a lot of people don't use it, but it can account for an extra 10, 15% of your overall revenue. And that will definitely help out. Now, I really like the concept of how you really broke down the funnel. Now, to zoom out for a second, you think that is really important for an actual brand to create a lot of content, because that content, even if there's no call to action, it can be some sort of value through entertainment or some sort of something that's informative, right? They'll use that content, either that's through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. That'll be a way to drive more top of the funnel awareness. And then through that, you can bring that person down to the middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, and then repeat the process all over again.
Yeah. 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 That's exactly how we do it. Yeah. Content is king. It's the sole, fuel for all of this. And, a few years ago, it was the big push was just get business owners on social media. Now they're doing content on social media, and now it's the big push is to get them on ads. And now it's like how to do more engaging ads. And literally the only thing that's difference is, and I tell these people all the time, like, I can give them my account structure. I can give them, kind of like the psychology principles we're laying down in each stage. And what makes every brand is the content they're using. And, it's something that it takes a little bit of a kind of like having a trained eye essentially to like, portray the product in a way with your video, your photo. So it does take a little bit of like a trained eye to do it, but you literally just go research a bunch of creatives in your niche. You can quickly understand, hey, this is the type of content that's working for this product. I like to look at like having this like nice Lamborghini in your garage and having no gas in it. It's not going anywhere. You have the Lamborghini, but without the gas, it's not going anywhere. And once you go to the store, get a nice 93 octane, you put it in the car, you can go wherever you want. And that's the content right there. Content is literally the fuel that gets all of this going. You have the best ad account structure, you have the best ad strategies at your disposal, but literally the only thing stopping you is having the right gas for the car.
Wait, so what type of brands do you like working with?
So we do a lot. I've used to start off kind of like wanted to go hard with just like clothing. That's because like one of like our first ecom brands we worked with, we were able to scale them very hard, literally from negative on ads to doing $2.3 million in 15 months. So we scaled them very hard. So I was like, yeah, let's just do clothing. But I've kind of pulled out of clothing a little bit because it's a lot more, it's easy to start a clothing brand. And the thing about clothing is it all comes down to the designs. And if people don't like your designs, it's very hard to tell people like there's just no way we can get you profitable because people just don't like the designs. So I do a little bit of help with clothing brands. It's mostly just people that are looking to kind of like delegate the task off. They're tired of doing creative, tired of doing copy. They need to delegate to a good team that can help them increase profits, but also to do everything kind of consistently how they were already doing it. But I really like working with brands. We have some brands in the home decor niche. We have some brands literally selling like Apple Watches bands. That's really cool. So I've been really like enjoying the personalized kind of products because we have a few of those brands. Worked with like some hair care brands. Those are really cool too. We were slinging like probably $100, $200 hair, like just shampoo. And surprisingly was doing really well at Tofu. Like so cool. We're working with our first app brand right now. So literally selling like an Apple app on the iPhone. And we crushed it with their first account, took their CPA from like $60 down to $20 just by leveraging those psychology principles and content. That was it. Same real ad account structure and everything, just redoing their content, and that's it. And now we're working on their second app they're releasing. So those have kind of been like the main brands we worked with. We worked with also like this gaming chair company selling like $400 gaming chairs. And again, you'd be surprised of how much we were doing at Tofu, which is crazy. Just like slinging a cold ad in front of someone and able to crush it. So that's kind of like the main like brands we're working with or have worked with a few of those. But really just kind of happy where we're at right now. I don't really have a specific niche. I think I would say probably products with or brands with an AOV between $50 and $200 more specifically. And that are already doing good with ads. And I say good, spending like, let's just say a 2x ROAS at least, spending at least maybe $10,000 a month. And we simply come in like a turbocharger and, reevaluate their business strategy and then kind of really take their ads to the next level right there.
So wait, really quickly, what was that thing that you mentioned, the Life Force eight things that every human kind of desires, right? So no matter how, because I think a lot of people they want their ad to look perfect, 4K, beautiful, like graphic design and whatnot, you think that no matter how good or how bad your creative is, as long as it portrays the life force 8 of the human desires, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. We've had, for specifically one of these app brands, they were having these really nice production, high quality videos being shot. And then all of a sudden I was like, look, it just doesn't portray the proper messaging to the consumer. And this actually goes a little bit away from Life Force 8, because this is more of like a luxury, just fun, product they have. So it's but at the same time, yeah, it does work with Life Force 8 because it's a natural desire to keep up with like the Jones, essentially, where you constantly have that nicest thing. It's also a natural desire to it's I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of like the keeping up with your Jones, but constant improvement, constant like elevation and stuff. And what we do is it's for a golf company, and we're improving their game essentially. That's kind of like as much as I can say about it. And yeah, we did a big thing by just switching up their content. Literally went from these production high quality videos that look super, super high production to now just filming people with an iPhone talking about the product. So it's much, more like streamlined in terms of like what we do now with that brand. We developed a content strategy for them. And then now we just focus on the key concepts of which they talk about the app and really tying into the problems they're facing, and then tying into the benefits of the app, and then really leveraging those key kind of like natural desires.
Yeah.
Play golf. So
I feel that when you sell luxury products, it is much harder because, like, for example, in your case, when you're selling shampoo, if you have dandruff, that's a problem. You can solve it with this dandruff shampoo. Whereas for a luxury brand, going off with the Life Force 8, it kind of, if you're wearing Supreme, it puts you in some sort of group, an elite group, right? If you have like a Rolex, it puts you in that elite group that sets you apart from everyone else. And that can attract partners, people that want to be in your level, for example, right? And that's just human nature of wanting to be, I guess, unique and having a community around you and whatnot. So I guess like looking at that angle and then making the content around that. So I think like that Life Force 8, using that as the base of everything and then building everything on top of that will definitely help you structure your ads, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Yeah. And that's the one thing that I think a lot of people make up. At least when I first started with like copywriting, I was kind of like learning about desire and stuff. I was like, oh, cool. I can't wait to make people desire my product. And then now it's like, that's a completely false expression. So a lot of people think you have to make people desire a product, but essentially you want to channel existing desires people have into your product and communicating to people how your product solves those desires or those problems.
Mm-hmm. And same thing with like board games and whatnot. There's no, I guess it's really hard. It's more like an entertainment thing. And I feel like I see a lot of people, they use a lot of user generated content, and that just converts like crazy because like you mentioned, if people are using the product, people buy from people, and if they see other people having a good time using the product and whatnot, it makes them want to buy it. And then almost instantly they want to buy it,
Yeah.
And that's definitely a lot harder too, because I feel like you're dealing with an actual human being. Sometimes you have to like kind of micromanage them as to how they should portray themselves in the video. Other people are like, you know what, I'll give you the product, just do what you think is best. And then they'll use that content to run their Facebook ads. And then they'll use the original video as a sort of a brand awareness thing for their Instagram accounts, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, UGC is super powerful. I love it for all brands. We're starting to push more heavily now into user generated content. We're looking to kind of like expand on, like I said, we've been kind of talking about like with content creators and stuff. And we essentially want to turn that into a service now at our agency, to where we can work with brands for either content creation, with getting UGC, or for their ads consulting side. So that way we can, work with more brands, because a lot of people already have like media buyers and stuff on their team and stuff. But
yeah,
UGC is super powerful. It's people buy from people, like you said, and just seeing another human enjoying that product and using that product, it just further, instills that idea in their brain that they want to do the same too. And that works really well. And especially too, if you really leverage, so like for that golf app I was talking about, our first round of UGC, we actually still had like a $60 CPA and stuff. all I did was to lower it was I trimmed down the first 20 seconds of each video where they were like, hi, my name is Nick. I'm in so-and-so. I just got this product in, blah, blah, blah. People don't care. What they care about is you talking about that product. And to capture attention, we're going to quickly latch on to a problem others out there have. So either a problem they're facing or what they have. And so the first sentence was, you suck at golf. So that's why I've been using this app. Mm-hmm. And it caught people's attention. It took our CPA down from like a $50 to $60 CPA down to a $20 to $21 CPA, because we were able to, like I said, the first 3 seconds of every video is super, super, super important of catching people's attention. That's the pre-frame of the whole video. And I found that, we could take one video that's doing like really crazy CPA, very unprofitable and stuff, and just recreate it with 3 or 4 different variations of the first 5 seconds. And we can turn that video around and still use the whole video. So it's super important. In our creative testing, we kind of look at that and ask, okay, that video didn't perform. Why? Look at the first 3 seconds. We look at a thumbnail. Thumbnail is huge as well. When we look at that, it's like, well, wait, none of that's grabbing my attention. None of that grabs my attention. My CPA is gonna be a lot higher.
Yeah, I think the thumbnail is super, super important. Even with YouTube, literally people say it's a make or break for someone to, it kind of has to be like clickbait at this point for almost any video that you create, Now, how do you keep up with the marketing trends? Because as we know, marketing, trends come and go. People look at TikTok for inspiration. They look at Pinterest for inspiration. There's always something new, a new update, a new algorithm, the iOS 14 update and whatnot. It is crazy. So where do you go to, of course, you can test your new ads and whatnot, but are there any resources that you offer or that you recommend to anyone to kind of keep up with the trends and kind of follow that wave?
So I highly recommend everyone to get into Ad Leaks by Tim Bird. It's a really great group. I think it's like $100 a month. It's been about a year now since I've been into it, so it might be more than that. But it's an amazing group. It's more of a sophisticated group. And also too, you can look at maybe FATC by Cat Howell, some 2 really good paid groups. There's a lot of media buyers, and it stays up to date with all that information and stuff. So I recommend that. Just staying up to date, watching videos on YouTube. I mean, honestly, I think 90% of stuff you can learn in these groups, you can just find on YouTube. It's just less organized and less straightforward, a little bit more fluff and everything. So that's why I really like these groups and stuff. So between that, outside of that, just staying up to date with what Facebook's standard updates and standard news announcements and stuff. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to more of the marketing tactics and stuff, I think really just finding a bunch of brands you love and understanding why they work so well. So there was a brand when I was starting a detailing business called Chemical Guys. And at first, I didn't understand any of their marketing concepts. I thought it was I didn't even know that was marketing concepts at the time. But now I look back, I'm like, okay, so they would literally come there and they would lead you in with one product. And then they would always have these bundles that look so much better. So you go in for a $20 product and leave it $100 AOV. And I'm like, holy shit. Now that I look back at it, I'm understanding all these key principles. So just literally just digging part of the brands you already love and understanding what they do. Subscribe to their SMS, subscribe to their emails and stuff. We'll keep track of every client that comes on board. We'll identify 5 of their competitors. We'll go to their SMS, their emails, all that stuff. So we can understand what they're doing so we can help repeat that. So yeah, we have our own strategies and tactics and stuff like that, that we try to leverage for every brand, but some brands are a little bit more hard to tackle, and that's why we look deep into competitors and stuff. Plus, your competitors, if they're running ads, they're spending a bunch of money, a bunch of ads running. Likelihood is they're profitable off of that. So if we can speed up that processing, that testing process, that saves our client money, saves us time. I'm all game for that. Now, marketing psychology side, just keep reading the books of the classics. So 2 books in here, I think everyone needs to watch or read after this is Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Swartz. And then Cashvertising. So Cashvertising talks a lot about more of the marketing psychology in terms of the Life Force 8 and stuff. Super easy read. Breakthrough Advertising is a little bit more difficult. I read it about a year ago and I'm just rereading it again. I'm like, okay, now I'm understanding more of these key principles and stuff. Now I'm more into it and stuff. So, so reading a lot of the classics and stuff is all those key points right there have been going through and have been applied over the last, say, I think 50, 60 years. It's more like 1930s, 1960s when a lot of these really started to been developed. But we're still operating off all those natural desires, natural behavior. And simply these platforms are just simply tools. That's it.
Yeah.
10 years from now, we're going to have a whole new set of tools we're going to have to leverage. Apple advertising now, there's rumors about Facebook is about to, there's rumors that Facebook's about to launch like really hard on the shops and stuff like that. So we're going to be in a big market correction in the next year or two with all this stuff going on. And guess what? The principles are still going to be the same. So I think it's really understanding those key marketing principles, key psychology principles first.
Mm-hmm.
And you could apply them regardless of what happens. That's that's truly building, increasing your personal power essentially to, build some fortitude throughout all these changes and have a little more confidence through all these changes that you're still going to be okay at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. I forgot who said it, but they're like, the fundamentals, the principles of marketing will always be the same because we're human, but the platforms that you use are going to change, Yeah. So that's a prime example of that. It's going to be like Facebook, Snapchat, now TikTok, different platforms. There's going to be new platforms in the future, and the fundamentals will be the same, but just the platforms will change. Now, Nick, if people want to work with you, they already have an established brand and they just want to, have someone take care of that so they can, delegate their responsibilities to other things, where can they hit you up?
Hey, so you can find me at theriosolutions.com, or you can even email me at nick@theriosolutions.com. Also on my YouTube channel, more than welcome to check that out. Just crossed over 3,000 subscribers the other day, so that was pretty cool. Dope. So we post about 3 new videos every week between these marketing fundamentals we talked about on this podcast, and it also to some of the more like the Facebook ads, tactical stuff. So share a lot of stuff with everyone on that channel, and get a lot of people saying it's probably the most valuable channel they found of 2021. So definitely worth the check out. And then also my Instagram is Nick Theriot _. So, and I'm pretty responsive on that platform right there with offering advice and everything.
Dope. So I'll include the links of your social accounts in the show notes, the website, and the books as well, if anyone wants to catch that and read it and learn more about any marketing fundamentals and whatnot. So Nick, massive pleasure having you on. I really love how you broke down the funnel part. I think a lot of people can get a lot of good insights on that and implement it hopefully in their e-commerce stores. If not, maybe work with you instead. But yeah, Nick, massive pleasure having you on, and I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Andreas. You're an excellent host, man. Definitely enjoyed. Anytime I can talk marketing nerd, it's always fun. So I really enjoyed being here today.
Anytime, man.